Welcome to Workout Masters Healthy Living video blog. This is Ruben.
And this is Aram.
We have a very interesting episode. We're going to talk about how to stay lean, how to get strong, and how to be sexy. All together in the same episode. Woo-hoo! We're going to give you the most effective strategy to achieve all three. Let's tear this one apart, man.
Let's go.
We talked about cutting calories last episode.
Not a good idea, just we did. We talked about it. And
it is good strategy for a short period of time, not good for a long period of time. Let's see how we can do a good strategy. Before you do anything, you gotta have a good strategy. Yeah?
Right.
So let's say the first thing that our viewers can do to get what they want.
Well, we want you guys to start eating better quality food. That's a given. That helps out many of the detoxification pathways of the body, and actually it aids on the loss of fat.
So you guys can refer to the episode about holistic nutrition, about quality of food that we have. Mm-hmm. So eating a good quality food is exceptionally important and will benefit you in a very long time.
Right.
The second thing will be stress. Again, you guys can refer to stress episode about adrenal fatigue also. What's important about stress?
Well, the important thing is to not let it get to you. And the one that gets to you, you actually know how to cope with it. That is the big key to managing stress. It's quite simple, but it could be quite difficult at the same time.
One of the biggest thing is, we call it a sleep to skinny program, is the best way to offset the stress that you accumulate throughout the day, is to just make sure that you sleep enough throughout the day.
Absolutely. That's fundamental, that people put emphasis into getting to bed early and waking up whenever you have to. That's a given. But getting to bed early is the most important, and the one that oftentimes is the most difficult to do. While you sleep, you basically repair your whole body, and that's when the body has a chance to recuperate. If the body feels that it doesn't need to have all that body fat in storage, it will release it. It will do it slowly, it will do it at its own pace, and you'll see the difference. That's why we call it sleep yourself skinny.
This strategy is exceptionally effective for a long period of time. So don't expect to all of a sudden just drop 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds.
Yes, because you go to bed early 3 days in a row.
It's going to take time. You will have to convince your body that you're going to do this on a regular basis. The minute you convince your body that you will do this all the time, your body will follow your lead.
Yeah. And like we said, we typically tell people that it's going to take them a third of the time that it got them to get fat. So if you took you to get fat 2 years because whatever, because life happens, work, kids, not being able to do any exercise or workout or be outdoors, moving, it will take about 1/3 of the time if you do everything pretty regimented and you do everything for your own good on a daily basis, and that 1/3 of the time you'll be back to where you started from before you actually started complaining about the way you felt and looked.
Exactly. So guys, make sure you pay attention to your stress levels, make sure you drink enough of water, and make sure you have the best food on earth. The other and very important key is exercise. As we always say, exercise is not the cure, but it is a supplementary to a good strategy. So today we want to talk a little bit more about what you guys can do for exercise and some very important things that need to be incorporated into your exercise program.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we talk about exercise, we're talking particularly on weight training.
Exactly.
Not exercise in general, as far as cycling, running, biking, whatever is your thing. We're talking about weight training, and weight training is crucial in order to increase muscle mass and retain and maintain the one that you already have. Because the last thing you want to do is, like we mentioned in our prior article or episode, is that you start cutting calories and the body is going to utilize all your muscle as a source of energy that it needs ready available at any given time. That's the worst thing you can do. As we mentioned, and we're going to reiterate on it, you start losing muscle and maintain your body fat. The scale, the poundage goes down, but you're actually fatter than when you started because your percentage of body fat is going to increase in proportion to the amount of muscle that you're losing. So weight training, crucial. You have to do it, and we're going to give you pointers to do things in the right order so you don't make huge mistakes that can lead you into injury. And we say injury with capital letters because it happens quite often that people go to the gym with the best of intentions, They start working out, they start loading themselves with weight, and before you know it, my knee hurts, my elbow hurts, my shoulder, my back. whatever.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with Ruben on this one. I think the key to an effective exercise program, number one, not to make things worse. Number two, to make things better. What we see as a trainers in the gyms for years, there's a lot of people that come to the gym constantly get hurt because they don't follow a very simple step. So you agree?
Yeah, and sometimes it's the client's fault for being, not up to date with how things should be run, and sometimes because the trainers do not know any better. Exactly. And I can tell you this with 100% honesty, because when I started my career, I was one of the really bad ones. And throughout the years,
same goes here.
I have gotten better and better and better. I still have a way to go to where I'm aiming to get, but I don't make the same mistakes that I was making a long time ago. So, one little caveat. When you go see and hire a trainer, I think we have mentioned this in a prior episode, and the guy tells you, I have 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of experience, that does not mean anything, because he could be making the same mistake that he was making on year one, and that's crucial. Make sure that they're taking constantly classes, make sure that they're actually aiming to and striving to get certifications from the highest levels of. And
that's another episode. Another episode called How to Choose a Personal Trainer.
How to choose a personal trainer, that's very important.
So let's tear up the exercise program. What's important about exercise program?
All right, we always want to follow a particular sequence, which is flexibility, stability, and strength. After that, there's many different doors once you get to that level. But the first one and the most important is flexibility. So you have to do flexibility exercises only, and listen to this very carefully, only on the muscles that are tight. Do not attempt to stretch anything that might be up to par, that has a good length-tension relationship with the rest of the muscles, or something that is very, very loose already, because what you do is that you carry that dysfunction further forward, and you can put the joint at a worse angle and actually get hurt. So it's very important that you only stretch what's tight. And you might ask yourself, which muscles do I have that might be tight?
So first you can actually check yourself to kind of like see if you stretch and you feel is something tight, you stretch it. Another way to go is you can get a book, How to Eat, Move and Be Healthy by Paul C.H.E.K.
You have it there.
It's up here somewhere, it's right here. I already showed many times, but ultimately there's I think it's chapter 5 or 6.
Absolutely. No,
chapter 5.
Yeah.
That talks about a simple test that you can do to figure out what is tight and what is not tight. And always, always, always stretch something that is tight. Ultimately it goes like this. If the one side of the body is tighter than another one, you don't want to stretch both sides. You only want to stretch the one that is tight.
Exactly. So you can follow Paul's advice here. He's got all these different tests. They're pretty much doing like a global stretch to the whole body. And whatever you attempt to stretch, if you feel that it's tight, just make a little mark and say, well, I have to do that stretch. And I have to do this one. I might not have to do that one. But whatever it is, just have it here all nice and lined up exactly what you have to do. And prior to this, he tells you with plenty of detail how each of those stretches is actually formulated. So this is a great book. And to me, this is probably one of the best holistic books when it comes to nutrition, to mental, emotional well-being, to some spiritual growth, and to really take care of your body. And once you do that for yourself, then you can do it for many others.
It definitely was a life changer for me. You guys might ask, how come we talk about flexibility and not cardio as the #1 important thing? And the cardio component is important, and we're going to talk about it as a circuit training, a part of a circuit training that will follow. So let's say you guys start stretching. Stretching is stress releasing. It gets you to a position of better posture. It aligns you better biomechanically. Chances are you getting injury a whole lot less after stretching. If you stretch, obviously, something that was tight.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Releases tension, so you have a little bit more energy. Instead of those muscles that are tight, constantly rubbing any area of the body, you pretty much just put them on check. They're not on, they're not off. They'll be functioning when you recruit them, and in the meantime, it will be at optimal length. That means that they're not creating any pull on any of the joints.
That's correct. And the following part is to actually an exercise program. And when it comes to exercise program, we always recommend to start with more of a stability. You have to think of your body as the new house or